issue. Um, the last stream was like about I think 15 minutes long or whatever. I'm going to delete that. So this is the official one. Mount&Blade Warband. So start new game. Welcome adventurer to Mount&Blade Warband. Before beginning the game, you must create your character. Remember that the traditional medieval society depicted in the game, war and politics are usually dominated by male members of the nobility. That does not, however, mean that you should not choose to play a female character or one who is not of noble birth. Male nobles may have a somewhat easier start, but women and commoners can obtain all the same goals and in fact may have a much more interesting and more challenging early game. We are male. You were born years ago in a land far away. Your father was in the first one I said veteran warrior, but now I'm going to choose a traveling merchant. You were born the son of a traveling merchant and always moving from place to place in search of a profit. Although your parents were wealthier than most and educated you as well as they could, you found little opportunity to make friends on the road, living mostly for the moments when you could sell something to somebody. You started to learn about the world almost as soon as you could walk and talk. You spent your early life as a craftsman's apprentice. As a boy growing out of childhood, you're apprenticed with a local craftsman to learn a trade. After years of hard work and study under your new master, he promoted you to journeyman and employed you as a fully paid craftsman for as long as you wish to stay. Then as a young adult, life changed as it always does. You became a smith. Though the distinction felt sudden to you, somewhere along the way you had become a man, and the whole world seemed to change around you. You pursued a career as a smith, crafting items of function and beauty out of simple metal. As time wore on, you became a master of your trade, and fine work started to fetch fine prices, but food in your belly and logs on your fire, you could take pride in your work and your growing reputation. But soon everything changed and you decided to strike out on your own as an adventurer. What made you decide this decision was loss of a loved one. Only you know exactly what caused you to give up this old life and become an adventurer. All you can say is that you couldn't bear to stay, not with the memories of those you loved so close and so painful. Perhaps your new life will let you forget or honor the name that you can no longer bear to speak. Become an adventurer and ride to your destiny. Alright. You hear about Calradia, a land torn between rival kingdoms, battling each other for supremacy, a haven for knights and mercenaries, cutthroats and adventurers, all willing to risk their lives in pursuit of fortune, power, or glory. In this land, which holds great dangers and even greater opportunities, you believe you may leave your past behind, start a new life. You feel that finally you hold the key to your destiny in your hands, free to choose as you will, and that whatever course you take, great adventures will await you. Drawn by the stories you hear about Calradia, and its kingdoms, you join a caravan to Praven in the kingdom of Swadia. Join a caravan to Ravadan in kingdom of Vagirs. Join a caravan to Tulga in Hirgit, or Hirgit, Honate. K might be silent. Take a ship to Sargoth, to kingdom of the Nords. Take a ship to Jalkala in kingdom of Rhodoks, or Rhodokes. Join a caravan to Shariz in the Saranid Sultanate. I heard starting out this is the best place to go first. That these all are, this is the Saudia. It's kind of best for a new player, so we're going to go there first. You came by caravan through the heartland of Calradia. Green shoots of wheat, barley, and oats are beginning to push through the dark soil of the rolling hills, and on the lower slopes of the snow-capped mountains, herds of cattle and sheep are grazing on the spring grass. Occasionally, you catch sight of one of the great war horses that are the pride of the Swadian nobility. The land here is rich, but also troubled, as the occasional burnt-out farm bears witness. You keep a wide berth of the forest, where desperate men have taken refuge, and it is some relief when you crest a ridge and catch sight of the great port of Praven, its rooftops made golden by the last rays of the setting sun. Continue. You are exhausted by the time you find the inn in Praven and fall asleep quickly. However, you awake before dawn and are eager to explore your surroundings. You venture out onto the streets. They are still deserted. All of a sudden, you hear a sound that stands the hairs of your neck on end, the rasp of a blade sliding from its scabbard. Here we go. Are you alright? Well, I guess you're alive. At any rate, I'm not sure that we can say the same for the other fellow. That's one less feet to trouble our streets at night, although heaven knows he won't be the last. Anyways, maybe you can help me with something. Let's talk more out inside. Out here, we don't know who's listening. The merchant takes you to his house. Once inside, he stands by the door for a while, checking the streets, and then finally convinced you have not been followed, comes near you to speak. Now let me explain my proposition. We've always had brigands in the hills driven to banditry by war, debt, or love for violence. Recently, however, they've been getting bolder, leaving their camps in the wild and venturing into town, looking for unwary prey. The watch commander tells us it's because of all the fighting on the frontiers. Fewer men to keep an eye on the streets, but I'm not sure what to make of that. It seems to me that most logical explanation is that these bandits have an ally inside the walls, who helps them enter unnoticed and helps them identify particularly tempting targets. Last week, you see, they took my brother. I don't know what my brother was thinking, a lad from a prominent house, out alone, after dark in times like these. Well, I suppose you were too, but you're a stranger here, and didn't know how bad things have become. He had no such excuse, but he's family, so what can you do? If you don't protect your kin, then people will start thinking that you can't protect your investments either, and I can't have that. No doubt the gang will soon send word about a ransom, but I don't care to pay it. So here's my proposition. You look like you've had a bit of experience with a blade, and more importantly, you must have a bit of fire in your belly, so you wouldn't be coming to Calradia to seek your fortune. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Gather a small party, track down these bandits to their lair, teach them a lesson I won't forget, get my brother back safe, and in return, you'll earn my lasting gratitude and a bit of silver. What do you say? I'm interested. You won't be able to do this by yourself, though. If you try and take on this whole gang single-handedly, the hunter will become the hunted. I'll warrant you'll first want to round up a group of volunteers. There's always a few lads in the village around here looking for a bit of work. That's more interesting than tilling the soil or hauling water. They'll follow you if you pay, so take this purse of 100 dinars. Consider it in advance on your reward. Go around to the village and use this money to hire some help. I'll reckon that you need at least 5 men to take on these bandits. Good, you can find me again in the tavern here in Praven. After you got the group together, then we'll speak about what we need to do next. You have taken your first quest. You may view your quest log, pressing the pad anytime in the game. Alright. So Let's what can you tell me about this town? This town of Pravencer, or town, New Lands, King of Harlots, King of Fordia, most of beef bread, smoked fish, ale, wine, leather work, tools, and wool cloth here. If you would like to learn more, you can speak with our guild master. He's nearby, right over there. Ah. Now we go back to here. There are 5 men. There you are. Splendid work. You have hired enough men to take on the bandits. Now, travelers entering Praven have told us that there is a small group of robbers lurking on the outside of town. I suspect that they are all from the same band, the one that took my brother. Hunt them down, defeat them, and make them disclose the location of their lair. Very well, I shall hunt for the bandits. Alright. What do you want? I've been looking for you. Tell me where you keep your prisoners and I'll let you go. Ha! Those prisoners are only going free if you pay the ransom. Did you bring any silver? No, but I brought steel. You have encountered a band of robbers. You have 7 troops fit for battle against 4. Charge the enemy. Order your troops to attack without you. Charge the enemy. You are victorious. Your casualties none. Encounter looters. Robbers 1 wounded. Total 4 wounded. Hey, spare me. Spare my life. Let me go, and I'll go far away from here and learn honest trade, and you'll never hear of me again. I'll spare your life, but in exchange, I want information. Either you or your mates kidnapped the brother of a prominent merchant in town. Tell me where you're hiding him, and give me your word that you'll stop troubling the people of these parts, and you can go free." "Oh, bless you, sir, bless you. We've done the lad no harm. We've been keeping him in our hideout near Elberl. I'll describe the area nearby in detail so there's no mistaking it." You approach the hideout. The looters don't appear to have spotted you yet, and you could still sneak away unnoticed. The difficult approach to the site down a narrow defile means that only a handful of troops in your party will be able to join the attack, and they will be unable to bring your horse. If your initial attack fails, looters will easily be able to make their escape in this burst. Do you wish to attack the hideout or wait for another occasion? Let's see. You approach the hideout. Thank you, sir, for rescuing me from those fiends. Did my brother and Praven put you onto their tracks? Yes, I told him that I would find you. I advise you to return to your family as quickly as you can and be careful on the road. With the retreat cut off, the looters fall one by one to your determined attack. Their hideout and all their ill-gotten gains as now your own. Now yours. Well, my brother's home safe. I'm not sure what to do with him. Maybe pack him off to a university outside of Claudia. That way, if he gets knocked on the head in a street brawl, no one can say it's my fault. But that's not your problem. Here's the rest of your reward. It was well earned. The money is most welcome. I'm glad to have been of service. Good. Now, are you interested in making some more? Possibly, what do you need? Remember how I told you the bandits had an ally inside the walls? I think I know who it is. The captain of the watch, no less. Some months ago, this captain, seeing the amount of profit we merchants were making from trade across the frontiers, decided to borrow some money to sponsor a caravan. Fortunately, like many who are new to commerce, he failed to realize that great profit only comes with great risk. So he has sent all his money into the most expensive commodities, and of course his caravan was captured and looted, and he lost everything. As a consequence, it seemed our captain turned to villainy to recoup his fortune. I suppose I'd do the same if the heavens forbid I ever faced indebtedness and ruination. Now, any watch captain worth his salary will have a few thieves and robbers on his payroll to inform on the rest, but our captain decides to employ these bastards wholesale. He brings them into the town, lets them do what they will, and takes the share of their take. You've heard the poachers turning gamekeepers. Well, in the unfortunate land of Calradia, sometimes gamekeepers turn poacher. Luckily, there are still a few brave, honest souls in the watch who've told me how he works. Now, here's my plan. I could bring this to the attention of the King Harlos, lord of the city, but that would mean an inquiry, my word against the captains, and the witness can be bought and evidence destroyed. Or maybe the whole thing will be forgotten if the enemy comes across the border again, and all I'll get for my trouble is a knife in the ribs. In time of war, you see a king's eye wander far from his domain, and his subjects suffer. So I've got another idea. I've got a small group of townfolk together, some men in my employ and some others who've lost relatives to these bandits, and we'll storm the captain's home and bring him chains before King Harlos. Hopefully with a few captured bandits to explain how things stack up. All I need now is someone to lead my little army into battle, and I can't think of anyone better than you, so what do you say? How do I know that you're telling me the truth? Oh, well, I suppose it's possible I found dozens of bandits who were willing to give their lives to give a passing stranger a false impression of life in Old Praven. Well, I guess you can't really know if my word is good, but I reckon you've learned by now that my money is good, and there's another 100 dinars, or maybe a bit more than that's waiting for you, if you'll do me this last little favor. So what do you say? Alright, I'll lead your men. Splendid. It's been a long time since I staked so much on a single throw of the dice, and frankly I find it exhilarating. My men are ready to move on your word. Are you ready? Yes, give them the word. Good now. Strike hard, strike fast, and the captain and the henchmen won't know what hit them. May the heavens be with you. You leave the tavern and go out to the streets. Nervous-looking young men are waiting in every street corner. You can see they have daggers and clubs concealed under their clothes, and catch a mixture of fear and anticipation and pride in the quick looks they throw at you as you pass by, praying that your enemies have not been alarmed by this all too obvious bunch of plotters. You check your weapons for one last time and prepare yourself for the action ahead. It's time, lads. Up and at them. Oh. There they are. Oh, I got a trophy. Cool. The remaining few bandits scatter off to the town's narrow alleys, only to be hunted down one by one by the angry townsfolk, making sure that your victory is complete and all the wounded have been taken care of. You and the merchant head to the house to his house to review the day's events. Ah, well done. I saw at least 3 of the enemy go down before you. Keep fighting like that, and you'll make quite a name for yourself in this land. Fortunately, about 7 of my lads got themselves wounded. I should go look on them. Let every villain learn to fear the name Badulf. The heaven alone grants us victory. I'm glad to see you're alive too. The heavens alone grants us victory. Yes, yes. Now a couple of my boys have the watch captain pinned down in the back room with a knife at his throat. I'll need to go drag him before King Harless and explain what this breach of the peace is all about. You don't need to be part of that, though. I'll tell you what. If all goes well, I'll meet you in the tavern again shortly and let you know how it all came out. You don't see me in the tavern, but instead see my head on a spike over the city gate. I'll assume you know enough to stay out town for a while and forget this whole episode ever happened. So hopefully we'll meet again. Badulf Yomlin. Things didn't go quite so well as I had hoped. King Harless couldn't quite find it in him to overlook my little breach of the peace. Oh, he's grateful enough that I got rid of his crooked captain, a guard who he'll let A guard who will let in bandits will let in the enemy army. The price is right, but he can't exactly have me running around here as a lasting reminder of his failure to take care of things himself. That hardly seems fair. There, this is Colradia. My boy, kings do what they will, and the rest of us do as they must. We didn't he didn't string things up, and instead gave me time to sell my properties, even put in a word with the other merchants that they best pay me a fair price to. That's gracious enough as kings go, but he's a weak king, as they all are here, and weak kings must always look to their authority first and justice second. I suppose I do the same in his shoes. Anyways, I wouldn't go rubbing your part in this affair in King Harless's face, but he's taking note of you and decided that you are not worth hanging, and that's something to which I'll raise a glass any day of the week. He might even have work for you further down the road, or you can sell your sword to one of the competitors. Anyways, I hope you've learned a bit about what it will take to stay alive in this troubled land, and I suspect that the money you've earned won't go to waste. Good luck. Of course, you won't find better quality armor. Hmm. Mm. Mm.
You ready to go knock knock? You ready to go knock knock? Knock knock? Oh, okay. Knock knock.
start here in Pravin. Go here. Oh God. Your order, sir. Not yourself. Oh, I can change his name. Hello, stranger. You seem to be new to Suno. I'm the guild master of the town. Um, can you tell me about the political nature? Politics. Good heaven, the guild has nothing to do with politics. We are loyal servants of King Harlus and Count Clargus. We merely govern our own affairs and pass on the townspeople's concerns to our lords and masters, and maybe warn them from time to time against evil advice. Anyways, what do you wish to ask? What are the cause of all these wars in Colradia? Well, to answer your question, generally each monarch claims to be the rightful heir to the old Colradic emperors. Some of these claims are based on forgotten dynastic marriages, and others are based on obscure promises, while the Rhodokes invoke the Empire's unwritten constitution. So in theory, any one realm has the right to declare war on any other realm at any time. In practice, to make war is exhausting work. It is easy enough to lay waste to the enemy's farmland, but crops will grow back. And it's a far different matter to capture an enemy stronghold and to hold it, so the monarchs of Colradia will fight a little, will fight a little, sign a truce, fight a little more, and so on, so forth. Often a monarch will go to war when another realm provokes them. At such times, some bad influences could look to enrich themselves with ransoms and pillage will clamor for pillage will clamor for retribution, and thus the damage caused by war to the monarch's treasury is less than the damage caused by doing nothing would be to his authority. I'm of course not talking about King Harlus, and no one would ever question his authority. I would stress again that we and the guild have nothing to do with politics, but if King Harlus were to ask for my advice on these matters as a loyal subject, I would tell him that while his claim to all Colradia is truly just, even the most legitimate claim must be backed by armed men, and armed men want money, and money comes from trade, and war ruins trade, so sometimes the best way to push a claim is not to push it, if you know what I mean. You may tell King Harlus if you see him, don't mention my name specifically, just say the people of Suno told you this, our personal opinion of course, as to what would be in King Harlan's best interest. None of us would ever dream of questioning a monarch's sovereign right to push his legitimate claims. What is King Harlus' policy in regard to the other realms of Colradia? Which realm did you have in mind? Start from the top. King Harlus seems to think that King Yaroglek and he have a common enemy in the Kahiraget Khanate. King Harlus is at war with Sanjar Khan. King Harlus is anxious to reclaim old lands such as the Unuzdak castle, now held by Sanjar Khan. King Harald wishes to be at peace with King Ragnar, so as to pursue the war against the Kahirjit Khahanate. And it's the same thing there. Let's see what's the new one. Getting our second job. You're looking for a job? Actually, I was looking for someone to escort a caravan. Perhaps you can do that. I am going to send a caravan of goods to Halmar. However, with all those bandits and deserters on the roads, I don't want to send them out without an escort. You can lead them that caravan of Halmar 15 days. You will earn 205 dinar. Of course, your party needs to be at least 10 strong to offer them any protection. Alright, I'll escort them. Excellent. I'm counting on you then. Good luck. Alright. Now, where am I taking Halmar? This might help a little. Well, where the heck is Halmar? Mm. Oh, okay. Pest me. Don't tell me I left them. Oh, I left them. The kingdom, the gears, and the Kahirjit Khanate had made peace.